Welcome to Female Frequency Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Jody Nelson, curator, artist, mentor, divine channel, and host of Female Frequency. I am here to bring you unbound forms of ecofeminism, reclaiming art, spirituality, and feminine power to revive the earth. Each week, Female Frequency brings you intimate conversations with trailblazers and amazing stories to ignite change. You'll find inspiring alternatives to the patriarchy, discover creative paths, courage, connection, and magic. Hear from the heroes who activate and restore the divine feminine for our earth. Each episode serves as a catalyst, offering wisdom along with practical steps to empower you to make a positive impact on the planet. Whether you're an artist, empath, or eco-warrior, there's a story here to invite awe and help you embody what I call the female frequency. Hello, frequency friends. Today I have a wonderful, adventurous soul to introduce you to. Katie Hess is a creative entrepreneur bringing the unseen to the seen. The old ways are just not working anymore. There is a new path to transformation. There is a new path to liberation, and it is through the energy and the power found in flowers. Katie is leading the new kind of flower power movement, and I'm on board 100%. As an expert in flower alchemy, author of Flower Revolution, and founder of Lotus Way, Katie is turning the frequency dial up all the way to help others reach their full potential and embrace their full spectrum selves, their fullest expression, if you know what I'm talking about. From being fearless while public speaking to sleeping more soundly or help dissolving self-doubt, there's a flower power remedy for you. Katie's going to give us a real fresh perspective. The answer lies in the energy of flowers. So in this episode, discover how energy medicines, particularly flower essences, can liberate us and help us achieve fearlessness, self-assurance, and true personal leaderships. Now, Katie has great stories from collecting flowers in the forest in British Columbia, sacred sites in India, rainforest in Costa Rica, Taiwan. But really listen all the way to the end when she's talking about the lightning storm and how that helped her find the flower in which she was seeking. Hello, sister. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm so excited to talk to you.
I'm so excited to be here.
So everybody, right before we started recording, Katie's spritzing herself. She's getting grounded. We had a little spaz out session and now we're getting grounded again. What were you misting around your beautiful self?
Truth teller and sacred awareness. I love to use sacred awareness before speaking because I want to tap into how I need to say things for who your community is.
Oh, wow. You are such a special soul. I cannot wait to get into how you just became such a movement maker, and anybody who was the new flower power movement. I was like, yes. I was reading. I came to you from Allison Charles' story, and she just said, okay, Soul Fam, you should really try these flower essences. And I was like, okay. And I immediately went to your website and was like, the new flower power movement? Yes. Do I want to speak my truth? Yes. I was like, holy yes, all over the place. It was great.
It's time. Things are changing and humanity's changing and humanity's, we've been through some rough times and we're also getting stronger and more able to handle more intensity of emotion. And it's like, boom, when the teacher or when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I think that Mother Nature is like really showing up for us on a much bigger level so that we can weather all these internal and external changes.
Yeah, there has been some turbulence, hasn't there? Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Truth Teller, that was my favorite. That was the first one I ordered. And I was in the middle of writing and trying to write for some workshops that I was offering. And I was just felt a little mixed up. And I was like, I'm going to get the truth teller. That'll help. I wish everybody could see my face. I mean, my mouth is agape because I felt a shift immediately. But then as I really started working with the essences, and girl, you gave a full spectrum sensory. You're not just shipping me a bottle of your essence. Like, your customer service is out of control. You're providing meditations. You're providing it with such a holistic and ritual aspects. I just can't wait to dive into everything that you provide.
Yeah, you're right. It's like a whole other kind of world. If you really, you can scratch the surface or you can go super deep.
Yeah. Yes. I think I might have gone super deep on the first few because my whole heart, like, there was a shift, and it wasn't that I couldn't find the right words for this workshop. It was because I was trying to find it in my heart, and I'm going to get a little emotional right now. My listeners hear me cry often, but it's amazing. It's like, it's so internal. It just brought you right back inside to get to know my own truth again.
Yeah, we need that. What else is there? I mean, it's like all of us want to make an impact in the world and have this desire to help people and forward all the good things in life. And, ultimately we learn that the only way to transform the world is by transforming ourselves. Like, really, that's the fastest way. It's like all that external got to do out here, and then 2021 came, and it was like, oh my God, I got to convince somebody of XYZ or something, or right. And then at a certain point, it's like, you just put it all down, and it's like, no, it's right here. This is what it is. I'm pointing to myself. I need to work on myself. It is the only thing that I can do. And from that place, I create this massive ripple effect of courage, fearlessness, truth, awakening, beauty, radiance, like any of the things we're looking for. They come from within, and then we can, put it out into the world, and other people pick it up and go, yeah, that's me too. Let's go.
Let's do it together. Let's go. I loved how you just said fearless, because I've been dying to tell you, I offer a workshop. It's called the Full Petal Project. It's a life mapping workshop where I help guide women through looking and retracing their life events through the feminist lens. Mm-hmm. And it's a creative exercise. So we rebuild our life one petal at a time.
That sounds very interesting. I want to know more.
Okay, I'll send you some information. And one of the metaphors that I use is that patriarchal stricture of calling a flower, oh, you're fragile as a flower. And it's demeaning, and it's demeaning towards femininity, and it's a demeaning towards softness. So I'm always like, can't we rebuild it? Can't we say fearless as a flower? I mean,
yeah, softness is strength. I mean, you got to have soft tissues to birth a baby, right? Softness, yes. Strength. You got to have softness to die. Like, what else is more fearless than dying? All these things require softness.
They do. Wow. So in your elixirs, your flower essences, what have you got going on in the truth serum?
Yeah, there's a lot of different forms. So the truth teller itself is, it's got a bouquet of flowers. One of them is a super rare black bat flower. It's got, and they call it black bat because it's got bat wings, and it has tiger whiskers and the little things that look like an eel mouth. It's a really kind of unnerving flower. If you see it, if you look into it, it's like, ugh, it's kind of scary. And I think it's because it's for the nice girl in us. It's like the nice girl that doesn't really want to look at the anger, that's like a little afraid of our anger, right? Because if we actually let it surface, we might just blow up the whole village and destroy everything in a nuclear explosion.
No wonder why I'm attracted to it. I think that bats are one of my power animals for sure. That. I mean, yeah. And now, yes, I actually probably did start looking at my life through more aggressive. Not aggressive is not the right word, but yeah, like that shit was messed up.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with anger, right? Anger is
Yeah.
very clarifying. It's sharpening, it's strengthening, it's empowering, it makes shit happen. Anger is a good thing.
Ooh.
It's when we suppress it, when we feel like we can't express it, that it starts to get toxic in our system. And so truth teller is all about alchemizing the rage, alchemizing the anger, being able to stand up for yourself and neutrally advocate for you, for yourself, for humanity, whoever you're looking after, and also to be able to use your words like smooth communication, skillful, and not be afraid of hurting people's feelings. It's like the time of being PC and nice. It's like we just waste too much fucking time doing that. It's like, just tell me what the truth is. Just tell me the truth, right? And then we become a lot more connected that way. Truth teller is like a little softer version. We have like a 2.0 called divine truth. And that one's like even more kind of making space for conflict being okay. So, you kind of start with truth teller and then you can move on to divine truth. It's a fun process.
It is. It is. And then I sit in the bath with your salts, the love salts. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can just also just fully immerse, right? And in the flower energies, it doesn't have to always be about kind of like raw, gritty, looking at conflict. It can also be like you said, looking at the beauty and the sensuality and the soft parts of yourself and attracting more of that, because we are all kind of hard on ourselves too much.
Yeah. Yes. I've called that self-critic many names. The gray cloud, the black cloud, my inner patriarchy. Yeah.
There's the bossy girl, the bitchy girl.
Yep.
The protectors. We love them all.
We love them all. Yep. The pink, soft, cloudy one too. Yep. All of them. Yeah, all of them. Wow. So was there, as we get into your journey of being such an entrepreneur and being able to, like a seer, to be able to see these flower powers, was there one flower that lifted the veil for you, or how did your journey go?
I don't think it was one. It was really like it's one and then there's many and there's one and there's many. It's a whole garden. It's a whole world. It's like, I mean, it's crazy because every month I'm taking a new flower essence, and I've been doing this for 20 some years. And every single month I'm like, oh my God, it's like every month I'm shocked at what I experience within me as a result of working with a new flower. And it's like the coolest things. It's like the love affair that never gets old, and there's just constantly new facets of yourself that you discover in relationship to other people. I mean, I remember the one that shocked me, I think in the beginning, was impatience. I tell this story often because it's like an illustration of how there are certain things in our blind spots that we don't see. When you're driving on the road, if you don't check your blind spot, it could be fatal. And oftentimes, I mean, all the time, we have blind spots. We have things about ourselves that we can't see. It's kind of unnerving. And the first time I took impatience flower essence, at the time, I was in my early 20s, and I thought, I am the most peaceful person on earth. I am very patient. And I took this remedy and I was like, I am the most impatient person on the planet. Like, I don't have patience for anything. It was like, all of a sudden you just see yourself in a different light. And what actually I think was really going on is you start incorporating this flower and it turns up the volume. It's like it puts a magnifying glass on any little part in you that is impatient. And suddenly you see it like somebody turned up the volume on the stereo and it's real loud,
Yes.
But it's cool because then you get to see it. You get to see what's in your blind spot, and then you can make a choice. You can harness that energy. You can channel it. You can express it even more. You can move it through. You can find a little bit more of a middle path in between extremes. And, we do this pendulum swing thing.
Yeah.
And Night blooming jasmine is one of my favorite flowers. That's like, I mean, I love that flower because you look at it and it's like just such a simple, plain white flower that looks like a star. It's like kind of a nothing flower. You know, when you look at it, you're like, that's like not the most interesting exotic flower. And then you walk by it at night and it's like, whoa, you know, like
Yes.
that blast of fragrance. And it's so seductive and beautiful. And the way that it helps us is it dissolves loneliness. Who doesn't experience loneliness at some point? And also self-criticism and like not liking our bodies and what's that new cellulite on my ass? And I don't like the way this does this or that or the other, right? So it's like, how do we fall in love more with ourselves and our own beauty and appreciate all of that? So, I mean, I could go on and on about a million flowers, but those are the top two that come to mind.
Right. It isn't what you're being told and sold out there in the world that helps shift you. It is only the love for yourself and being in love with yourself and being in relationship to all of those things that you just said.
And it's not easy, you know, it's like so fucking cliche, like just love yourself, self-love, self-care, you know, and it's like, but how? How do you actually do that? And it's really like this very, like you said, full pedaled, one pedal at a time, lifelong process of like, you know, suddenly you feel kind of cramped and you're like, oh, I could just like move a little bit this way. And whoa, it opens up all this new space. And it's like a continual process of that. And then we see other women doing it and we can find even more space for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. If we can just recognize that we're a little cramped and we just need some more space, and it's not going to stay that way forever. Just needs a minute. You know, it's that biological ebb and flow. Just give it a second.
And you know, what's the crazy part is we're constantly changing. So like, we're trying to decide, could we ever love our physical bodies and our emotional baggage and everything that makes us who we are? Could we actually learn to love ourselves in this moment right now? And then in the next moment, we've already changed. And the next moment, like gravity's already taken our boobs down a notch. And, you know, it's like, and we're like, we got a new wrinkle on our face. It's like, you know, if we, like I always would tell myself, like, one day I'll be in my 80s and I'll be like, damn, I was hot today, you know?
Yep. Yes. It's always reviewing those pictures like, wait, why did I think I was fat?
That looked pretty good, right?
It looked pretty good. Damn hot. That was a hot girl day. And what was I thinking? Yeah, just because maybe I was menstruating then or something. You know, you just never know.
And not that it's about appearance. It's not about looking good for other people. It's more like, how can we find more freedom and liberation in just being ourselves, right?
That's right. Hallelujah. Mm-hmm. 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 That magical moment you find within yourself again.
Yeah, it's like put on the summer swimsuit and like let it rip.
Let's go. Let's go. Because I'm telling you what, I see that exact attitude on that plumeria that is right outside right now. It is a new plumeria in my life. And I am like, I have a time lapse on it. I'm so excited about this blossoming. Number 3 is happening today.
What color?
It's the white with the pink and yellow.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Yeah. She's not like, am I taking up too much space? Am I too bright? Am I too pretty? Am I too gorgeous? Am I too fat? Am I?
Exactly like, right.
I'm here.
That's right. Leaves, you're behind me. Flower up front. Fearless. Oh, so good. So good.
And actually with the theme fearless, one thing I want to share, I think you'll be interested in, is like, because I've been at this work for so long, 20 some years, I've seen so many changes happen, in the world and in the world of flower essences, and like organically seeing what is it that people need in each moment. And if we get current to like now, what people really need now, and then in the next like year or two, what I'm seeing as more fearlessness, like that is the key word. And when there's like things kind of roll out in series over here, and there's a series of 3, we call them awaken, products. And they're like remedies for more fearlessness. And I was like, at first I was like, God, didn't we already do that? Like, didn't we do that in 2020 and all that, didn't we already do the fear thing? And then I looked at all the flowers and I was like, no, we did not do fear of starvation. We did not do fear of war. We did not do fear of terrorist attack. We did not do fear of like being seen on a stage of, speaking to 1,000 people. We did not do, I don't know. There's so many weird little fears of being attacked, fears of seeing the truth, fears of like, there's so many odd little things. And when I first started working with these flowers, it was like all of a sudden in my daily basis, I had this like new kind of experience where it was like, fuck, everything I do, say, perceive, every action is to avoid some kind of fear that is secretly running in the background that no one else knows about. Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to get abandoned. Well, I better do this and say this and position this and do this. It's like, and it like blew my mind because I'm looking at myself going, I am living in this matrix where I am constructing everything based on some kind of weird form of safety that I think if I can arrange this and arrange that and arrange this and arrange this, and I can prevent myself from some kind of future pain or suffering because I'm afraid of it happening. It's like, are you serious? Like I'm doing this all day at the same time that I'm like growing my business and taking care of the dog and like, and every human being is doing that. That is too much. Like that's a whole new level of, programming and software that we got to work through and slowly dissolve and dump over time. So that's what we're doing at Lotus Way personally, and also in the businesses, getting out more flower remedies for fearlessness, because there's just a lot of subconscious stuff in there. And also probably collectively, it's like, time's up. It's time for us to become leaders.
It is.
We the people, we the people become leaders.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, whose peace are you trying to keep? If you're living in all that, if you're trying to walk around those fear edges, are you trying to keep someone else's peace? Why? I mean, I'm this years old where I started saying that. I'm like, I'm not keeping their peace. That's fine. If they, if it's, no, I need to keep my peace.
Yeah. I think we're trying to protect ourselves from future pain.
Survival.
Perceived future pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
I might die. I might be left alone. You know what I've been hearing a lot of recently from women is fear of success. And then I'll do this little exercise. Do you have any fear of success?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Can I do the exercise with you?
Yes, please. Breathe it out. Yes, girl.
It's really simple.
Okay.
So let's just say you are like successful beyond your wildest dreams, right? You are like, whoa, like blasting it. Like you've got kind of a mental picture of what that looks like when you're just at the top of your explosive game here. What's the worst thing that can happen if that happens?
Oh, well, I like to work off my gut, and my gut just said, oh, now I'm going to die. I won't be able to like ruminate in it or be in love with it for very long.
So isn't that interesting that somewhere in you, subconsciously, you have a pattern that success equals death? So why the hell would you want to be successful? Why the hell would you want to reach your full potential if it equals death? Right?
Right. I mean, my eyes are like, what?
And you're not alone. Like what I've heard in the last couple of weeks are abandonment. My friends and family will leave me. I'll be super lonely. It will be boring.
It will be boring.
It will be boring because I'll just be left all alone by myself. I won't have time with my kids. My kids will grow old. I will never be able to be with them. My husband will cheat on me because I won't have any time to give him affection because I'll be so busy and successful. Like endless amounts of stuff, right? And when we kind of backtrack it, it's like, okay, cool, right. That's why we're not more successful, because if that's what the programming is, who wants any of that? So we backtrack it and say, for you, for example, could you imagine a possibility where this wild success picture in your head actually didn't involve death? That you would get to experience like a long and luxurious 20 to 30 years where you could just like really ripen and enjoy it and express it and be in it. Could you imagine that? Like,
yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah. I'm sitting outside and I'm wearing pink. I mean, I see it.
So then it's like a matter of, flower essences can help. And also, but just like consciously putting your awareness on something already starts to change it. It's already starting the process of change in your system right now because you've poked a finger at it. It's like, I see you. Okay. Everything starts changing. They've done studies in Germany where, if people become aware of a particular physical imbalance, like let's say I just became aware of like a fibroid in my uterus or something. Then because of my conscious awareness, my physical body already starts to, the healing process taking place. So, okay, you've established that success meant death to you. Now your system is like, let me find the ways that maybe success doesn't actually mean death, that I can enjoy it, right? That it doesn't mean that everything stops and whatever else is in there. That, and then you can move towards a version of your success where you're continually affirming that, yeah, I get to enjoy this. Oh, wow, this feels good. It's sensational. It's beautiful. And I can lean into it because look at me. I'm experiencing it. I'm here. Like this death picture is not really true, actually. Right?
Right. I am here.
Yeah, you're enjoying it right now.
Yes. Yes.
A level of success right now. You're
totally
interviewing someone on a podcast in Hawaii with your flowers blooming outside.
And it's with Katie. It's just how much more perfect. It's like, it's perfect. Hey, I just wanted to pop on here real quick to let you know a couple of things. The first thing is there's still time to sign up for the Full Petal Project, the creative life mapping workshop where we are going to retrace your life events through the feminist lens. That's happening on May 23rd. You can find all the details on my website at pressrain.com. Go to the school and you'll see Full Petal Project. And to help each and every one of you really blossom into your full spectrum self, Katie, who we've been talking with today, is offering special pricing. So you can go to the website, and I'm going to let you know this right here, right now. Go to www.lotuswei.com/FFP to take a look at some of the things she's recommending for this full spectrum, seeing your life through the feminist lens. I am loving this moment right now. That was a moment where you helped me alchemize.
Yeah, I mean, think of how much time you have to like enjoy success every day.
I got a new awakening. I get a new order too.
Maybe on some level, a part of you does die, a part of you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like shedding of the skin, like snakes do. It hurts a little bit when they shed a little bit to grow into their new one. I have shed a few skins. I'm down.
You know what that feels like, and you can trust yourself through that process, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Trusting yourself. That's all going to be good, right? Like we were saying before, you got to know loving yourself through that.
Yeah, that's key. I mean, it's really one of the deepest motivations for me right now with flower essences is to help people really root into their sense of self-trust. We don't necessarily need a doctor in a white coat. We don't need the news anchor. We don't need the CDC. We don't need the parental figures. We don't need some authority. We don't need all that's great. And we can totally trust ourselves. Like if somebody said, okay, after this moment, Jody, you never have to doubt yourself ever again. Like it's so liberating.
Yes. That's funny you said that. Yeah. Dropping the doubt was something I'm working on for this year.
And it isn't even really like, do we have the capacity to lead ourselves? It's like, can we just let go of the doubts? Because we can lead ourselves. We know how to do this. Like, and then you get to the other point where you don't know how to do something and you figure it out. That's what life's about.
Right. That learning process.
Otherwise, no one would become a mother, right?
Discovery.
Like nobody teaches you how to become a parent.
Right.
But people are figuring it out all the time. And nobody teaches you how to die. In some cultures, maybe in Tibet, they teach you specifically what will you experience and what will you feel at the moment of death and the transfer of consciousness. But that's very rare. But we figure it out, don't we?
Right.
So
totally.
Like, we're constantly like put in these positions in life of, having to open to things and trust ourselves. So it's really about dropping the doubts.
Yeah. I just love how you connect through self and through the earth. And it is an art form. Every bone in our body is creative, like we can see Mother Earth giving us with these flowers, with the trees, with these other forces. We can learn so much.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with opening up your system to more magic. I think in the West, we have, and some people don't even like that word, like don't use the word magic. It's undermining what you're doing. I see that a lot. And it's like when you're a little kid and you're like, I don't know, digging in the mud or making mud pies or climbing trees or, maybe you're like grew up in a city and you're in the alley poking around little weeds and dandelions. The magic of this paradise that we live in. Like it is absolutely magical. And so many of the ways that we just move through life kind of strip us of that mystery and that spiritual essence, the synchronicity. And the more we let ourselves open to that, it's like when I first started collecting flower essences, I was like, am I nuts?
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Am I making this shit up? Like, is this really real? Could this really be real? But then over time, it's like, well, what do we have to lose? Wouldn't you rather live in a magical world? And I don't mean delusional.
Right. The magic word got, what's the word? It got demonized. It got demonized.
Yeah. But I mean, geez, there's just like so much beauty around us. And also it's not limited to like 6 or 10 plants. Like that's another theme I'm seeing is like people are super into their entheogens and their psychedelic experiences and their cannabis stuff. And that's cool. And I believe that people, like a lot of people have this really deep, pure motivation and they come to the table of entheogenic plant medicines. Like I want to know myself better and I want to know a sense of spiritual essence better. And from my perspective, it's like, there are hundreds of thousands of botanicals on this planet, 45,000 flowering species. Every single one of them is doing something. Like I could collect flower essences every day until I die and not get them all. Right. So why are we fixating on just like 5 or 10,
Yes.
So much more out there. It's like when your science teacher says you're using 10% of your brain and then you're like, well, what if we were using 100% or maybe just like 50%?
Man, and the way you come about these flowers, I mean, to me, I just think that you have a curiosity that is beyond or something like your brain got more curiosities in it or something.
No, not true. Everybody's the same, but maybe I just was, I don't know. I'm not really sure. Maybe because I was an only child and I didn't have many friends. The flowers became my friends. No, I don't know. It's just like a deep, deep, deep longing, like a deep longing to help people reach their full potential. And the flowers are such an awesome medium for that.
I see. I agree. Wow. So you've been doing this for 20, 25 years. Only child. I guess I'm a little surprised.
Why?
That helper that wants that nurture. I don't know.
I think only children get a bad rap, right? And they're like,
yeah, they do.
Spoiled brats, selfish. They get all the presents at Christmas.
Yeah, they actually get a birthday party.
Whiny babies. Like, I don't know. In my experience, they're like also really independent and kind of lonely. And kind of adult-like because they're just hanging around adults all the time.
I see. Yeah. I am classic middle child. There's like,
are you?
Yeah. It's a mix of marriages, but there's like 9 of us all together.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Families.
Blended. And so sometimes I'm like, I need to go get quiet time.
Right.
Yeah.
You're the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
man. I just love everything that you're doing. So tell us more. Like, do you have, so you're working, what's your R&D practice? I don't know how else to say it. I mean, do you have like a workbench, a lab that you're experimenting with or?
Yeah, constantly. I mean, they're like everywhere.
I love it.
Let's see. What could I tell you about it?
I know.
I'll get the bug in my butt to go collect flowers. It's either like somewhere internationally or more recently it's been like all the different flowers in Arizona and the desert, from the desert to the orchids in the forest to, I don't know. There's just so much here even. So I'll get the bug in my butt to go collect something and then we'll take a bunch of pages of notes about what it's for, and then we'll give it to 150-ish people and see what they experience and then compile that and make sure that what the notes I took is, what is correct. And then what other things are we discovering through the lenses of other people's filters that I didn't, get from the beginning.
Let's talk about Arizona. I spent a little bit of time in Arizona. I was a teenager. I was a military brat, so I lived all over the place. Awesome. So my Arizona stint was in Fort Huachuca, southern past, and the Sierras past Tucson, in Sierra Vista.
Like close to the border,
huh? I think yes.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's like really close, but yeah. And I remember we had to check our shoes for scorpions every day. And I remember I was also a competitive swimmer, so I did drive around the state a lot and remember seeing cactus and cactus flower.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a very interesting environment. There's a reason why people would like go to the desert when they wanted a healing or to see something, right? Because it's like the environment is a reflection of what's happening internally. So,
can you say that again?
The environment you're in has a reflection internally. So when you are looking to find something inside of yourself, you go to places like deserts because you can see from horizon to horizon. It's not like curling up under a little mossy thing under a tree. It's like, it's stark, it's clear, it's sharp. You see from here to here. Same on the inside. You see from here to here. There's nowhere to hide. There's no comfort to seek. And also when you're walking, it's like dry and it's hot and it's pokey and you might step on a prickly thing. And so your awareness is really sharp. You're listening, you're sharp. You don't want a rattlesnake to come out and bite you. So,
right.
Or a scorpion to be in your shoe.
Yes.
So it creates this like hypersensitive awareness. So a lot of the plants also, and then we can talk about like, conservation of resources. Like you don't want to be like whoring out all your energy because it's hot and dry and extreme. So you've got to like conserve. And then when the timing is right, boom, so it's like all the different plants of the desert are teaching you how to access your spiritual power, how to see all the sides inside deep within you, how to conserve energy and sharpness, awakeness, clarity. And everywhere you go in the world, if you go to Iceland is more about like the absolute joy and wonder of being a child and being curious and seeing what's around you. If you go to Costa Rica, it's like all these different flavors and themes around deep subconscious fears. Like, am I going to be eaten by a tiger, or am I going to be swallowed by a volcano? Or it's just like weird subconscious stuff. And, where you're at in Hawaii, I've never been to Hawaii, but everywhere you go, there's a different flavor.
Yeah.
And the plants are like the emitters or the transmitters of that particular wisdom of the earth. It's like the botanical floral Wi-Fi where you can upgrade your system or download a new piece of information.
Sidebar, I'd love to host you at my house. There's room. We'll make something happen. Yeah. If you want to come to Hawaii, and there's this island is not touristy, and I'd love to show you around and show you some of my favorite flowers around here.
What island are you on?
That are wild. Molokai.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's not even a stoplight.
What?
I know. My friends are like, I remember when I was in college, thought I was going to help recycle the world. And I mean, I was an art major, I knew, but, and I traveled to Nepal, and I was working with the river rafting company. And it's there that I started curating shows with photographers like from National Geographic to help raise awareness for river conservation. And when I came back to the States, I continued some of that. And then I got a job at a gallery. So I was like both teetering on both sides of myself, like, two sides of myself, I should say, which was really great. And then I really dove into more urban lifestyle, working in galleries, directing, what was really awesome is that so many of the artists that I worked with use the natural world as their inspiration, and they're really connected. And I think I wanted to share all that with you because I was in the city, downtowns, and now I live very far away from that.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I just saw that one of my favorite places in New York City is closing. It's the Rubin Museum of Himalayan Art.
Oh, yes.
And I spoke to a friend of mine in India, and he was like, yeah. Like, I've been calling that for years. Like, unless they're like somehow creating some incredible experience for people, like that kind of world of art and museums is like dying. People want like an everyday life experience, So my question for you would be, what's your take on that? Like, what do you see the world of art evolving into?
If I have anything to do with it, I would like to see the art world really start embracing the spirituality of what artists are doing again. And because what they're doing is they're taking that something unseen and bringing it to the seen, something invisible and bring it to the visible. And these are words that my friend, Reverend Francis Faden, helped me like really kind of put words to what I was feeling. And what happened after the Industrial Revolution and the hierarchy was taking over and putting art in the box and making it like only for this people. And then the art historians started to get involved, and the art critics started to get involved, and they landed at modernism. And modernism's pretty much said, no. You have to take spirituality out of it. It's less of this self-expression. It's much more formalism. And even though abstraction came out of that, they can get all trippy and philosophical, but they stripped spirituality out of artwork.
Interesting.
So I'd love to do more shows where it is more about that ecofeminist approach, connecting what artists are taking from the unseen and making it seen again.
That's beautiful.
Thanks for asking. Yeah.
Sounds like kind of like what happened with the world of medicine. Similar, huh?
Yeah. I was doing some research on how the Western medicine came out to be, because in one of my podcasts, I said swan medicine. In 2022, I was on my swan year in swan medicine. And a new friend of mine was like, what is that? And because the word medicine in her mind meant something totally different. Mm-hmm. And, my self-conversation was doctors are amazing. I'm not saying anything other than that, but doctors practice medicine. They're practicing. Mm-hmm. And it originated, please tell us more, but in my research, it's like they were constantly just always going back to the ancestral, like the shaman or the person in the village. The indigenous had healing first, and then this huge medical world just kept taking onesie-twosie things out of it and sensationalizing it.
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of reduced us to like a bunch of parts, Allopathic medicine is quite young and it's brilliant. It's brilliant for like fixing bones and car crashes and accidents and surgeries and, antibiotics when you need them. And
right.
I think nobody would argue with that. I think it's more like when you look at, I'm not really impressed by science. But so much of science is biased. I'm not really impressed with like machines and mechanisms. I mean, it's cool. I'm actually personally, just me, more impressed when somebody can like grab my wrist, feel my pulse, look at my tongue and go like, you have this, you're experiencing this, you're experiencing this, you're experiencing this,
Yes.
Or like, just yesterday, I went to see a friend of mine who's a healer and he's like, open up. And he dropped in, like a tiny, tiny little homeopathic sugar pill of a venomous snake, like snake venom. And it's like, just freaking, again, it's like magic, it's not magic. It's like very documented. It's very well documented. But it just is so cool. It's like, wow, like what could happen? It's not like going to see your cardiologist and then they're going to look at, it's just like, it feels so like death, it feels like, I don't know. I at some point, I feel like it's better not to go to allopathic doctors when you reach a certain age because they're always going to find tumors. They're always going to find weird little cancers. That's kind of like what our body does is it puts all the things in a packet that doesn't know what to do with it and it puts it somewhere for storage so that it's not wreaking havoc through all of our systems in the body. It's like, at a certain point in life, it's like better not to go for those checkups because you don't necessarily want to be going through chemo and radiation. There are other ways that you can look after yourself. And I think if we knew the diversity, of
yes,
like if you knew you could take a homeopathic snake venom and it would help something inside you, like it's just so cool. It's so brilliant, right?
Yes.
And if you look at cultures like India, to this day, there are more people that use homeopathic medicine as their primary, form of care over allopathic medicine. Allopathic medicine is so young and you see this kind of strategic way of, kind of killing all the homeopathic schools and killing all the herbalism lineages. And it would be great if we could have all of it at the same time, working together. I think that's much more effective.
Ooh, yeah.
That's impressive if you've got like, you can get your broken bones fixed here, but you can have your snake venom here and you can have herbs for this here and like support the body and healing itself in like a tremendous diversity of ways, not just a cardboard cutout 2D only way protocol, everything same for everyone. Like seriously, no way. Like, and this is something I think you'll find interesting too, Jody, is we work with hundreds of practitioners now, like wellness practitioners, and they're all saying, the old ways aren't working anymore. And these guys are the natural guys. They're saying like, high doses of vitamins and minerals, or like the supplement route, or like it's not working anymore. The only thing that's really moving the dial for some of the things popping up today is energy medicine, like homeopathics and flower remedies and different biofeedbacks and energy medicine, right?
Energy medicine. Yes.
We have like case studies of like moms who bring their kids in to the practitioners we work with, and they're autistic, they're nonverbal. And within a month of using Truth Teller, so full circle to the one we first started talking about when we got on this call, within a month, their children are speaking.
You're going to make me cry. I just love it. I love it. It's so true.
There's so much about this world that we don't understand. And I can say, after studying flower remedies and their effects and working with thousands of people after 20 some years, it's like, we're now at a level that I don't understand why this is happening even. But like, I'm rolling with it. Like, great, yeah. We'll run with it. We've got, people who have dementia or memory issues or coordination problems, and they're working with sacred awareness, the one that I missed it on myself so that I'd know what to say to your listeners, right? And the way that they want to hear it. It's helping people put together their words better, and coordination and memory. It's like, why is that happening? I don't know. Does it have something to do with the fact that, after meditation every morning, I put the call out to the endangered fringe orchid species that looks like a bunch of like crazy nerve endings. And, after several months, we finally found ourselves in rural Minnesota of all places. And after like 15 minutes, found a flower. And the, lightning, like thunder rumbled, even though there was this tiniest little cloud in the sky, and then it rained, and it was like the whole place welcomed us, and that particular energy is what's going out into folks and increasing their coordination and memory and ability to speak. It's like kind of mind blowing when you think about it.
Yeah. Cause the lightning helped give you the light to see it. It's just amazing. I love what you're doing. I love your internal story of how you got here in the world. And thank you for doing what you're doing. Thanks for being on that flower frequency.
It's so much fun. Yeah. So much fun. And it's really easy because, like what the other thing I love about it is it teaches people that they know what they need, in a world like what you're talking about, where spirituality was taken out of art or out of medicine. And then there is a sense of like our own spiritual essence and self-trust and knowing what we need. And what's so awesome about this system is like, all you have to do is look at the flowers and see which ones your eyes are attracted to. And those are the ones that are going to be the most healing, and move the dial for you in terms of your path of awakening, seeing your blind spots, shifting and transforming so that you can impact the world in the way that you want to. That's all you have to do. Like, which flowers look the most interesting? If you go to our website, there's a quiz, and there's a couple. There's a really simple one for newbies, and then there's like a longer one, which I love because it's... Yeah. And you just click on the flowers you like. It asks you a question, and you can answer yes or no. And it's phenomenal. Like, you realize, like, well, shit, I do know what I need, right? Like, the part of me does know, know.
Taking the power back, taking your specific power back and not giving it out, not let it be leaking out anymore.
Yeah. So you see that like direct reflection of, oh, wow, yeah, these are all the things that are like under the surface. And then the fact that you can actually work with a remedy, like you can mist it on yourself, or you can put it on points, or you can rub it all over your body, or you can put it in your coffee, tea, water, whiskey, beer, wine, whatever you're drinking, kombucha.
Yeah.
And that it will make you feel different. It will help you access your wisdom and your insights.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Oh, I'm so excited. I need to come to Arizona. You're doing workshops, and I haven't been there in a while. And you're in Phoenix, is that right?
Yeah, we'd love to have you. We're on 7th Ave in Bethany. We have a huge 15,000 square foot building. It's called the Self-Arising Nature Center. Our headquarters are here, but we also have like a bunch of treatment rooms and, a beautiful acupuncturist who works with the flower remedies into his treatments. A woman who does applied kinesiology and chiropractics. We have meditation classes, private ceremonies, flower rituals, smoke offerings, like for people who really want to move the dial on something in their life, or maybe just take a meditation class or have a tea ceremony or learn how to paint or arrange flowers or, it's kind of, there's so many different ways that you can come at it. Or
wait, you're doing painting classes too?
Not me, but Allison is. Allison, she's an artist and like her artwork is everywhere in the building. She also does feng shui and then she also makes herbal teas and then her artwork is on the tea bags. Have you seen it?
I've seen the tea bags. Yeah, absolutely.
And she's got like every Saturday kind of like art club where she's not really teaching per se, but you can like go and use the materials or bring a project or just like get out of your try something.
Yes. You just, yes. Yeah. Let the creative flow out of you, bring something from the unseen to the seen. Yeah.
Or you want to come by and just like have a cup of tea and some dark chocolate and get a flower reading. Come on over.
I'm doing it. Oh my God, a flower reading. Oh, everybody go do the flower quiz. It's so fun. And on your Instagram too, you oftentimes will put out 5 flowers and say, what are you attracted to this week? I love those.
It's so fun. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. We haven't done that in a long time. We should do that again.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be on the lookout for it. So lotusway.com and Lotus Way on Instagram. Girl, how'd you come up with that name?
In the East, the lotus is like, it's this crazy plant because, right, it has the lotus effect. You see it used in aeronautics.
Yeah. Aeronautics. Wait, no, I was like totally thought you were going to go on like first chakra, root chakra. What? Wait, aeronautics, what?
Yeah. Okay. So there is a particular quality to the leaves and the petals of the lotus plant that makes it so that not one speck of dust or dirt can actually rest on the surface. And if you pour water, for example, onto a lotus leaf, you see that it rolls around like mercury, essentially. The surface, it looks smooth to us. We can't see it. It's like, very, very microscopic. It doesn't allow for substances to stick, right? So airplanes will use that because it makes things much more aerodynamic. But in the like symbolic form, it's like, we're out here, we're in this world, like I'm in downtown Phoenix. We got a couple blocks away. We got people like slouched over on fentanyl, right? Like there's a range here. We're in modern life. It's crazy. It's chaotic. It's screwed up. Our minds are screwed up sometimes. And yet, like, just like in the lotus, where lotuses grow, it's like muddy and stinky and dirty and nasty and gross, right? And then there's like this pristine flower. So it's like the idea is like the real, like using all the muck and baggage and shit and stuff we chose to be born into this vehicle to awaken to all the purity and true nature as we are. And then way is Mandarin, and it means for the benefit of all. So it's like it's transformative action for the benefit of all.
You're neat. That is so cool.
You put some thought into it.
Yeah, just a little. Oh, that is so neat. Yeah, I think ultimately I'd love to just thank you again and help everybody remind that it is about using it all, like being able to use that dark, muddy side to get to the lighter side and not being fearful of it. And what will grow out of that dark into the light is amazing. Let's look at these magic and miracles that is you within you.
100%.
100%. And your products really helped me see myself. And I don't order the same thing every time. And I feel like I'm going to go revisit the truth teller again. It's time for that. I think, this snake is going into a new skin. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that quiz is so fun. I probably do it like every couple of weeks just to see where I'm at. I'm like, what do I need now? What do I need now?
Yeah.
They just have this capacity to like expand our ability to sit with intensity. And the more, like you said, the more we can not run from what we think is dark or scary or whatever we want to judge about ourselves, the more we can actually use that as power, as expression of beauty.
Yeah.
Look at compost and it's like the eggshells and sliminess and mold and flies and stinko. But like, that's what makes the most beautiful garden, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And healthy. Yeah. Yes. I can't go anywhere without thanking you for helping me put another life event on my petal project. Today, you helped me kind of see a block with my true level of success. Like, it's going off the charts. And what was I fearful of? So that's going on my petal project for sure. Yeah, it's a petal. Thank you.
I can't wait to hear more about it.
Yeah, I will. I'll call you, tell you all about it.
Is there anything you can share right now? So if we send this podcast out to our community, they'll learn something about it?
Yes. So on May 23rd, I'm going to do the full petal project. It's also the full moon, right? Because oftentimes I think women just forget how dynamic they are. And so one exercise that we're going to do is to have and harness the full moon and use that as a reflection. What are we full of? And then we're going to revisit our life events through the feminist lens. More self-care, more of these female frequency prompts where you can just look at yourself with less patriarchal viewpoints of those social conditionings that have happened. Be fearless like a flower and fragile as a flower. We are both. Yeah. And it's going to be online, and all the stuff is going to be on all the details is on my website, pressrain.com, soon to be femalefrequency.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. I'll send you some more information too. Thank you so much for vibing with the female frequency today. If this episode or any other episode has helped transform or shift your perspective in any way, please tell me all about it. Tell me all about it in a review where you are listening to this podcast. It will totally help me out and help spread the vibe. If you're a creative looking for more support, this is what I do for a profession. I often host workshops, and you can find out all about those on my website. So take a look at www.pressrain.com. That's PRESSREIGN.com. All right, y'all, until next time.